fishermen and locals in coastal communities are to be empowered to enforce laws on sustainable fishing practices. A new policy to be adopted by government soon is expected to decentralize management of the fisheries sector. With fish stocks set to be on the decline, the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development is helping co-managing fishing activities with local leaders will help sustain fisheries resources. JoyNews' Adelaide Arthur was at the Ankobra estuary and reports locals there are involved in co-managing a mangrove replanting exercise supported by USAID Sustainable Fisheries Management Project.
Here at Sanwoma in the Elembele district of the Western region, a mangrove restoration project is ongoing at the Ankobra estuary. Allowing mangroves to thrive is crucial as they serve as breeding grounds for some fish species. But locals here cut the trees for fish processing. They say the red mangroves especially gives good flavor. As fish stocks continue to dwindle, it's become necessary to undertake the mangrove replanting project to restore and sustain fisheries resources. Residents of Sanwoma, who depend on fishing for their livelihood, have been made to understand why it is necessary to replace mangroves they cut for fish processing.
We used to get good catch when there were lots of mangoes. In recent times, we've realized fish stock is declining. We are hoping that with the replanting project, the trend will reverse. I take part in the planting of mangoes and nursing of seedlings.
About an hour's boat ride from where the Ankobra River enters the sea, over 25,000 mangroves have been planted on 18 hectares of degraded mangrove sites along the river banks, which is the size of about 18 football pitches. There are also 20,000 seedlings waiting to be planted.
The big question is, how sustainable is this, given that many people are entering into mangrove harvesting as a source of livelihood? So that is why we are working with them, to develop new practices. So we have trained them in practices we call sustainable mangrove harvesting. With sustainable mangrove harvesting, the skills and knowledge that you gain will ensure that harvesting is done in a way that will not result in clear cutting of mangrove areas to the extent that the whole area become recolonized by grass or other species that takes over the mangrove areas.
The importance of fishing cannot be underestimated, as statistics show that about 10% of Ghana's population depends on the fisheries sector. Also, fish provides about 60% of total protein intake in Ghana. Supported by the USAID Sustainable Fisheries Management Project, the mangrove restoration program is being undertaken by NGO Henpuano together with locals as part of fisheries co-management practice where traditional authorities can sanction lawbreakers.
Once it is a participatory process, everybody knows that when I do this, this is the fine I'm going to get. If I do that, this is what I'm going to get. So it is not something that is going to come out of the blue. They themselves will sit down and agree on what fines. And the policy is such that you do it within your small locality where you are managing the resource, and therefore you can come up with the rules. The traditional authorities have their rules already. All these things we have to codify, and then it becomes the community rule, so everybody abides by it.
With a membership of 45, including representation from the local traditional council, the Ankobra Mangrove Restoration Committee oversees progress of the project and is expected to map out strategies to sustain the practice.
Initially, they were not supporting us, but through the intervention of Yampuano and through talking to our people about the importance of the mangroves, I think now they are in supporting of us. It's better we, the community people, to manage the project in our own area.
Recognized as global best practice, co-management of fisheries resources at the Ankobra and Praia estuaries in the Western region is seen by authorities as rewarding, and is expected to be replicated in other coastal communities to enhance food and nutritional security. Adelaide Arthur, Joy News, Sanwoma, Western Region.